What if I told you that one single number can completely change how you see money? A number that quietly separates people who stay stuck financially from those who eventually build real, lasting wealth. That number is $100,000. Reaching your first $100,000 is brutally hard. It's slow, frustrating, and often discouraging. In fact, it's the toughest financial milestone you'll ever face. But once you cross it, something extraordinary happens. Your money begins to work harder for you than you work for it. In this video, I'm going to break down exactly why your first $100,000 matters more than any other milestone, why getting there feels almost impossible, how compound interest finally reveals its true power after this point, and the practical steps you can take starting today to reach it faster. By the end, you'll understand why Charlie Munger famously said that reaching your first $100,000 is difficult, but absolutely necessary, because everything changes after that. Let me start with a story that might feel uncomfortably familiar. Meet Peter. He's 28 years old, earns $65,000 a year, and has been trying to save money for the past 5 years. After all that effort, he's managed to save about $15,000. Every month he puts away a few $100s, yet it feels like he's running on a treadmill, working hard but going nowhere. Peter represents millions of people trapped in what I call the savings trap. They're budgeting, cutting expenses, and doing everything right, yet they never experience the explosive growth they were promised. Here's the reason. When you're starting from zero, compound interest is nearly invisible. Suppose Peter saves $500 per month and invests it at a 7% annual return. After 1 year, he's contributed $6,000 and earned only about $200 in interest. That $200 feels insignificant compared to the effort it took to save $6,000. After 2 years, he's contributed $12,000 and earned roughly $800 in total interest. Still, impressive. This is where most people give up. They assume investing doesn't work, but what they don't realize is that they're laying the foundation for something powerful. The math tells a clear story. If you invest $10,000 per year at a 7% return, it takes roughly 7.8 years to reach your first $100,000. Nearly 8 years of discipline, sacrifice, and patience with very little visible reward. But once you hit that milestone, your next $100,000 arrives in about 5.1 years. The third takes only 3.8 years. The fourth just 3 years. This isn't luck, it isn't magic, it's mathematics. So why does reaching your first $100,000 feel so impossible? The first reason is psychological. We live in a world built on instant gratification. Food arrives in minutes. Entertainment is available instantly. But wealth demands delayed gratification, years of effort with almost no immediate feedback. When you're saving for your first $100,000, you're paying your future self, and your future self can't thank you today. The second reason is what I call the contribution dominant phase. Early on, your own savings do almost all the work. If you invest $1,000 a month and your investments earn $50, it feels pointless. You're doing 95% of the work while compound interest contributes almost nothing. The third reason is rarely discussed. Most people don't understand what $100,000 actually represents. It's the moment when compound interest stops being boring and starts being meaningful. At $100,000 invested with a 7% return, your money earns about $7,000 per year, nearly $600 a month without you lifting a finger. That alone can cover a car payment or a large portion of rent. And here's the beautiful part. That $7,000 gets reinvested. Next year, you earn returns on $107,000, then $114,490, then $122,504. The snowball has officially started rolling. Let's follow this journey all the way to $1 million. In the first 7.8 years, you grind your way to $100,000. You contribute about $78,000 of your own money, while compound interest adds roughly $22,000. You're doing most of the work. From years 7.8 to 12.9, you build your second $100,000. This time, you contribute only $38,000, while compound interest contributes nearly the same amount. The balance is shifting. From years 12.9 to 16.7, you build your third $100,000. This time, you contribute only $38,000, while compound interest adds over $60,000. For the first time, your money is working harder than you are. At $500,000, your investments generate about $35,000 per year, nearly 3 times your annual contributions. At $1 million, they generate roughly $70,000 per year, 7 times what you're adding yourself. This is why wealthy people appear to get richer so quickly. They've crossed the compound interest threshold where money becomes the primary worker. But the transformation isn't just mathematical, it's psychological. When you reach $100,000, your relationship with money changes. You stop seeing dollars as things to spend and start seeing them as tools that multiply. You develop patience. You trust the process because you've lived it. You gain confidence. You make decisions based on long-term outcomes instead of short-term survival. Now let's talk about how to reach your first $100,000 faster. The first strategy is income optimization. Most people obsess over cutting expenses, but there's a limit to how much you can cut and no limit to how much you can earn. Maximize your employer benefits. Capture your full 401k match. Develop valuable skills. Ask for raises. Change jobs if necessary. Build side income through freelancing or consulting. The second strategy is expense optimization. Don't cut blindly, cut intentionally. Track your spending for 1 month. Eliminate expenses that don't add real value. Focus on housing, transportation, and food because small improvements there create massive savings. Every dollar you cut should be redirected towards your $100,000 goal. The third strategy is investment optimization. For most people, low-cost index funds are the best solution. They're diversified, simple, and efficient. Automate your investments so discipline isn't optional. Use tax-advantaged accounts like 401ks and Roth IRAs whenever possible. Finally, adopt the mindset that will carry you through the hardest years. This is a marathon, not a sprint. Focus on systems, not deadlines. Celebrate milestones along the way: $10,000, $25,000, $50,000. Educate yourself continuously and surround yourself with people who take action instead of complaining. When you reach $100,000, everything changes. Your money begins to compound meaningfully. Your confidence grows. Your options expand. You stop reacting emotionally and start acting strategically. So start today. Calculate your net worth. Automate your investments even if it's only $100 a month. Focus on growing your income. Optimize your spending. The road to your first $100,000 will be difficult, but it's worth every sacrifice, because once you cross that threshold, you're no longer just saving money, you're building a future.